Welcome to the world of Tony Stark, the Iron Man in his first ever adventure with his one true secret love story. Everything starts at an excavation of an ancient Chinese architecture in China. A worker hears a statue of the Mandarin whispering. When the statue's eyes start glowing, the worker falls off his platform and runs away screaming about the Mandarin. James Rhodes, Tony Stark's best friend, watches the excavation from afar before talking with his project manager, Mr. Ling. The manager warns Rhodey that if the rivers continue to swell, the ruins could collapse. Rhodey says that they are behind schedule because of the Jade Dragon's commando raids, and promises to do everything within his power to escalate the work rate. With the arrival of another shipment of steel, Rhodey tells Mr. Ling that they have enough to start pumping it under the excavation site, to raise the ancient city above the ground. Suddenly, 2 rocket launchers strike the site, destroying multiple equipments and injuring a few workers. An enraged Rhodey calls the playboy Tony Stark, who is the mastermind behind the whole operation, but neglects everything happening around him. Meanwhile, Tony Stark is having a romantic desert with an attractive woman. Rhodey questions Stark on why he sent them a shipment of weapons, but Stark denies sending any such shipment and promises to fly right over to see it for himself. However, Stark instead chooses to stay and visit with his board of directors. Boyer questions their decision to give him his own advanced technology division, as Stark has always acted without the board's approval. First, Boyer brings up their massive spending on the excavation in China, but Tony replies that the Chinese government is willing to pay 20 times more than what they are currently spending. Boyer then questions Tony on the $500 million spent on his secret project, but Tony says that this project is Stark Enterprises' future. Not content with these answers, Boyer asks the rest of the board to shut down Tony's division. Tony pleads with his father, Howard Stark, the chief executive officer, but he sides with the board of directors. Later that evening, with much effort, Rhodey raises the ancient city of the Mandarin to ground level. They do the impossible, by expanding liquid steel underneath the city's ruins. Outside, the Jade Dragons plan on another attack. Master Wang Chu threatens Li Mei to make her take part in the raid. While Mr. Ling explains that some people fear that by raising the Mandarin's temple, it is inviting the history of Mandarin's tyrannical rule to repeat itself, as the Asians are traditional and superstitious in their ways. When the Jade Dragon raid the excavation site, Rhodey encounters Li Mei and knocks her down before she can shoot. However, another Jade Dragon kidnaps Rhodey after hitting him, and Pepper Potts delivers the news to Tony, who is having a hot shower after the intense board meeting. Tony flies to China immediately to look for Rhodey, and travels to the excavation site in a convoy of armored tanks. They encounter an obstruction in the road and drive into the Jade Dragon's trap. They were too late to pick up on the signs, and the rocket launchers hit the tanks in all directions. Tony Stark gets injured severely and the Jade Dragons kidnap him. Tony wakes up and finds he has suffered great damage to his heart, as an old monk is treating him. Wang Chu explains that they need Tony alive to lower the city. Li Mei shows some concern for Tony, and Wang Chu threatens to kill her. However, Li Mei's defiance in the face of death keeps her alive, and Wang Chu reminds her of her responsibility as a Jade Dragon. Meanwhile, outside the Mandarin's temple, 4 of the 5 elementals awaken, and a Jade Dragon who is on the lookout, warns Wang Chu but is killed in the process. At Stark Enterprises, a lawyer tells Howard Stark that the Chinese government is wondering how the Jade Dragons acquired technology from Stark Enterprises. The lawyer suggests blaming the mishap on Tony Stark. Although Howard is taken aback by the disappearance of Tony, he has to bide his time to let matters settle down. Rhodey has made an iron lung for Tony, and soon, Tony Stark wakes up in his new iron lung, and thanks Rhodey and Ho Yin for saving his life. Tony meets Li Mei, who leaves as soon as he asks her why they are both prisoners. Outside, Li Mei remembers inheriting her bracelet from her dying father. Her father expresses his anger for not facing the Mandarin when she failed to get the other rings. The 4 elementals attack Trafalgar Square, and steal a ring from a monk buried beneath the city. In China, Ho Yin, the monk, explains the prophecy of the Mandarin's return to Tony, as it is predicted that these demon elementals will recover the 4 bands of the underworld, which were stolen by 4 monks upon the Mandarin's death. Ho Yin gives Tony the location of the bands and urges Tony to stop the elementals. Just then, Wang Chu forces Tony to come up with the technology needed to reverse what he has done to the Mandarin's ancient city. For added incentive, Wang Chu kills Ho Yin and threatens to kill Rodi. Meanwhile, the 4 elements are collecting the 4 bands one by one, after they have been hidden away for thousands of years. However, during the following week, Tony and Rodi instead work on armor for Tony to wear during their escape. When Wang Chu asks them to demonstrate their device, Rodi starts adjusting its settings while Tony slips away. Chu soon discovers their deception, and prepares to kill Rodi. However, Li Mei kills Wang Chu with 2 bullets to the back. Wang Chu's guards appear and prepare to attack Rodi. However, Tony Stark, wearing the Iron Man full-body armor appears, and they start attacking him. Tony Stark's armor deflects most of their bullets and defeats them. Before escaping with Rhodey, Iron Man tries to convince Li Mei to join them, but she refuses. Back at the Jade Dragon headquarters, Li Mei views the prophecy stating the Iron Knight will battle the Mandarin, and that one of the 2 will die. She does not want to believe that Iron Knight is Tony. Meanwhile, Tony and Rhodey fly back home on a jet, but S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Drake puts them under arrest for dealing arms to the Jade Dragons. He claims they have received documents linking Tony Stark to the sale. After seeing Howard Stark, Tony and Rhodey evade arrest by driving off in a bulletproof police car, which the Stark Enterprises themselves made for the police. A group of the Jade Dragons led by Li Mei go on a mission to destroy the Mandarin's temple. Although some of her members worry about the 5th elemental, Li Mei reassures them that the 5th elemental will fall once they destroy the temple. The 5th elemental, Fin Fang Foom, the dragon, quickly disposes of Li Mei's Jade Dragons. Li Mei, however, bows down to the dragon and pleads for forgiveness. As a fugitive, Tony decides to go after the 3rd ring. He and Rhodey get into Stark Tower with the help of Pepper Potts, who deceives the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents like cupcakes. Tony opens the entrance to a secret room and shows Rhodey his secret project, a series of interactive exosuits. Tony takes his aquatic model for the next mission to look for the ring, since the destination is deep in the ocean bed. Rhodey is frustrated that Tony did not trust him enough to involve him in this project, but the 2 friends come to an agreement finally. Thank you for watching Millennium Pictures. Like, comment, share and subscribe for more awesome videos. Have a nice day.